The following excerpt is from the personal logbook of Christopher Columbus on his first voyage to the Indies as edited by Bartolomé de las Casas. Monday, October 15th. I stood off that night, fearing to approach land before morning because I did not know if the coast was free from shoals. At daybreak, I hoisted sail. As the island was more than 5 leagues away, indeed more like 7, and the tide was against me, it was midday when I reached this island. I found that the coast which faces San Salvador runs north and south for some 5 leagues, and the other coast which I followed runs east and west for more than 10 leagues. And as from this island I saw another larger one to the west, I hoisted sail to run all that day till night, since I should otherwise not have been able to reach its western point. I named this island Santa Maria de la Concepcion, and it was almost sunset when I reached this point. I wished to learn whether there was gold there, because the men I had taken aboard at the island of San Salvador told me that they wore very large gold bracelets round their legs and arms. I thought that this tale was probably a lie told in the hope of getting away. Generally, it was my wish to pass no island without taking possession of it. Though having annexed one, it might be said that we had annexed all. I anchored and stayed there until today, Tuesday, when at daybreak I approached the shore with the armed boats and landed. There were many people all naked and like those of San Salvador. They let us go about the island and gave us all that we asked for. But as the wind was blowing from the southeast, I did not wish to delay and went back to the ship. A large canoe happening to lie alongside the Nina, a little before midnight, one of the men from San Salvador who was in the caravel jumped overboard and went off in it. A few minutes later, another threw himself overboard and also swam after the canoe, which went so fast that no boat could overtake it, for it had a considerable start. So they came to land and left the canoe. Several members of my crew went ashore after them, and they ran off like frightened hens. We took the canoe they had abandoned aboard the caravel Nina. It was approached by another small canoe with a man who had come to barter a ball of cotton. Since he would not board the caravel, some sailors jumped down and seized him. Having seen all this from the forecastle where I was standing, I sent for him and gave him a red cap and some green glass beads, which I put on his arm, and 2 hawk's bells, which I put on his ears. I told the sailors to give him back his canoe, which they had taken onto the ship's boat, and sent him ashore. I then raised sail for the other large island which I saw to the west, and ordered that the second canoe which the Nina was towing astern should be set adrift. Shortly afterwards, I saw the men to whom I had given these gifts come ashore. I had not taken the ball of cotton from him, although he wished to give it to me. The people gathered round him, and he appeared astonished. It seemed to him that we were good people, and that the man who had escaped in the canoe must have wronged us, or we would not have carried him off. It was to create the impression that I had set him free and gave him presents. I was anxious that they should think well of us, so that they may not be unfriendly when your majesty send a second expedition here. All I gave him was worth less than 4 maravedis. So I set sail for the other island at about 10 o'clock with a southeast wind which veered southerly. It was very large, and according to the signs made by the men we had brought from San Salvador, contains much gold, which they wear as bracelets on their arms and legs, and in their ears and noses and round their necks. This other island was about 9 leagues west of Santa Maria, and this part of the coast apparently runs from northwest to southeast for upwards of 28 leagues. Like San Salvador and Santa Maria, it is very flat with no mountains. All the beaches are free from rocks, although all have submerged reefs near the shore, for which reason it is necessary to look carefully before anchoring and not to anchor too near land. The water, however, is always very clear, and you can see the bottom. A couple of lombard shots off land the water is so deep around all these islands that it cannot be sounded. They are all very green and fertile and subject to gentle breezes. They may contain many things of which I do not know because I did not care to land and explore them, being anxious to find gold. And since these islands show signs of containing it, for the natives wear it around their arms and legs, and it is certainly gold, because I showed them some pieces which I have, I cannot fail, with God's help, to find out where it comes from. When I was in mid-channel between Santa Maria and this other island which I have named Fernandina, I found a man alone in a canoe crossing from one to the other. He was carrying a lump of their bread about the size of a fist, and a gourd of water, and a bit of red earth which had been powdered and then kneaded. Also some dried leaves which they must value very highly, since they gave me a present of them. He also carried a native basket containing some glass beads and 2 blancas, by which I knew that he had come from San Salvador to Santa Maria and was now on his way to Fernandina. He came alongside, and I let him come aboard as he asked. I had his canoe hauled aboard also, and all that he carried kept safe. I ordered that he should be given bread and honey and something to drink. I shall carry him to Fernandina and restore all his possessions to him, so that he may give a good account of us. Then when, God willing, your highnesses send others here, we shall be favorably received, and the natives give us all they possess.